The topic du jour, state and local government. So we're going to be looking at the organization and powers of the state and local government as described in Georgia's Constitution.
Georgia, Georgia.
The state government and power for state government is created in the 10th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. The U.S. Constitution says all powers not granted to the federal government are reserved for the states. So yes, the federal government is the most powerful. However, states are also given powers as well, things like issuing licenses. So all 50 states have their own state government, and we're going to be taking a look at the state government for Georgia. Taking a look here at the three branches of government, executive, legislative, and judicial, it's important to remember that there is a hierarchy to power in the United States. So these three branches of government are the most powerful at the federal level. The executive would be the president, the legislative would be Congress, the House and Senate, and the judicial would be the Supreme Court. And looking at the state level, the leader of the executive branch for a state is the governor. The leading body for the legislative branch on the state level in Georgia is known as the General Assembly, and for the judicial branch, the Georgia Supreme Court is in charge. You can also look at local government here as well. Most local governments, which are cities, they have mayors in charge of their executive branch, a city council of sorts in charge of their legislative, making laws for the city or local area, and of course local courts. Taking a peek at the state of Georgia's government organization, the three branches of government exist at the state level as well. We have a primary official of the executive branch for the state of Georgia being fulfilled by the governor. The legislative branch is fulfilled by the Georgia General Assembly to make laws, and the judicial branch for the state is the Georgia Supreme Court. We're going to be taking a look at each of these roles individually and how they shape the state of Georgia's government. The governor heads up the executive branch for the state of Georgia. They are voted in by popular vote and serve a 4-year term. Now, the power of the governor is to make sure that laws are faithfully executed. They can appoint, remove, and supervise state officials, they prepare the annual budget, they act as commander-in-chief of the state militia, and they also have message power, which is the ability to recommend new laws to Georgia's legislature, the General Assembly. The governor also has special sessions power and can call legislature into a special session. The governor has the veto power and clemency power, or the power of mercy towards those convicted of crimes. The governor also has assistant in the executive branch with other state executive officials like the lieutenant governor, secretary of state, state treasurer, and attorney general. Georgia's legislative branch is called the Georgia General Assembly. It's a bicameral assembly similar to Congress with a Senate and a House of Representatives. The power of the General Assembly is to enact laws that do not conflict with federal laws or the state constitution. They generally make laws about taxing, spending, borrowing. They establish courts. They define crimes and punishments for the state of Georgia. They regulate commercial activities and maintain the public schools. The Georgia General Assembly also has the power to impeach, approve appointments made by the governor, and police power to protect and promote public health, morale, and general welfare of Georgia citizens. The judicial branch for the state of Georgia has a tier similar to the federal court system. The highest state court is the state of Georgia Supreme Court. Supreme Court justices are elected by popular vote for 6-year terms, and the purpose of this judicial branch is to interpret state constitution law, to protect legal rights of citizens, and enforce laws of the state through due process. Courts make sure that everyone is protected from the abuse of the government, and the Chief Justice is chosen by the other justices on the state of Georgia State Supreme Court.
Wait, America's not a state?
Zooming in and looking more closely at each branch of the local government, this is the area of government that probably most affects our daily life. A local form of government could be the county. A county is a major unit of local government in most states, and counties make up a state as a whole. In Georgia, we have 159 counties, and that's actually the second most counties of all 50 states, Texas being the first. Counties may share the functions of local government or be the major units of government for rural areas, just depending on the amount of population there. So counties do vary widely in area and in population. Counties can be broken down further to city or municipality governments. There are 535 cities and towns in Georgia, and in order to be considered a city or a municipality, you have to receive a charter from the state to create that town. Powers of cities or municipalities include having a local police department, having local licenses for businesses. They are responsible for maintaining roads and streets within their city or municipality, as well as controlling traffic, providing water and sewage services. Most cities in metro areas choose to have a city government that is structured as either a mayor-council, commission, or council-manager structure. Most cities that do not have a structure like this don't tend to plan for the future, and that can lead to a lot of problems with the structure of the city. Without planning, cities end up duplicating services and wasting money, and so most cities do tend to have a certain structure. Depending on the city's requests and needs, there are a variety of forms of city government that can emerge. A strong mayor plan is where the voters choose not only a mayor, but also a city council. The mayor proposes most legislation, appoints city officials, and proposes the budget, and is the head of city departments. The city council is there to make sure that the mayor stays in check. In a weak mayor plan, voters elect a city council, and city council essentially does everything that the executive branch would call for in that local government, making policy decisions, appointing city officials, heading the city departments. However, the city council also chooses from within a mayor to lead council meetings, but that mayor just has limited authority and just acts as a leader of the group. If a city should choose a council manager plan, it's almost as if they do eliminate a mayor as far as a political figure. Voters elect city council members, and city council members do appoint a mayor who does not really have any more power than anyone else in city council. City council appoints a city manager, and that city manager actually then has more power, being able to propose legislation, carry out policies on city council's behalf, and appoint city officials. The city manager also is in charge of heads of city departments. So,
I never got to be mayor.
In order for state and local governments to run properly, they must collect revenue or make money. State and local governments have a variety of ways of collecting revenue or making money. State governments can collect state income tax, inheritance tax, as well as estate tax. They can charge indirect and direct taxes, as well as setting up a sales tax for the state. When it comes to local governments, they have the ability to collect money or revenue by having property taxes, which is a tax on the value of your home, as well as a sales tax on purchases of goods in that local community. Without this money, local and state governments would not be able to run properly and provide for us those services that we expect from them.
Why, oh, why do we pay taxes?